I hope everybody had a nice summer. And here we are discussing about, I really appreciate George, who's doing a good job and enforcing the town code. That's very important. That's one of the main issues we are facing now. I was supposed to talk about census. Census 2020, United States Census will be the 24th United States Census. The census is mandated by the US Constitution so that every 10 years we count the US population. Getting an accurate count of everyone residing in America is very important because the data collected by the census determine federal, state, and local legislature district, and how federal and state funds will be distributed. After each federal decennial census, the county legislature uses the census data to redraw the legislative district maps to ensure each district has equal population residents. The legislature develops a process by which public input is sought and consideration given to communities of interest, voters' rights, and population deviation. In the past, Rockland County Legislature has hired an outside consultant. In New York, certain districting principles to be considered, such as preservation of communities of interest. New York does not allow lines to be drawn in such a way that intentionally favors or disfavor incumbent candidate or party. The legislature will hold a public hearing before adopting the legislative district lines and will consider input from the community. Rockland County, we have 17 legislative districts, some of which are very densely populated than others. While I was not in the legislature, yet when these district maps were drawn, they were drawn and voted on in bipartisan manner. And I came in 2012, it was done in 2011. The district maps were drawn so that each of the 17 legislative districts would have an equal population of residents, and this will have to be considered after the next census. I care deeply about Nanuet. I have lived in Nanuet 32 years, where I raised my 3 daughters who attended Clarkstown School, and we attend Nanuet St. Anthony's Church. Nanuet is a wonderful place to raise our family and work. I will do my best to work with my colleagues to ensure our community reflects our rich diversity and stay together. Thank you.
Questions in the end?
Annie told you the way it's supposed to work. That's not what happened. Yellow here is my district. I'm not going to speak to that. That's Jim Flynn's vision of maybe the future. But this is the reality of what happened in 2011.
Do you want to come in the center, Chris, so everybody can see you when now we're here? And if you want the mic.
I don't need a mic.
You don't need a mic? Okay.
What this is called is gerrymandering. All right. The Supreme Court has recently, within the last couple of months, said that it's not illegal, but it is definitely not in your best interest. Okay, I'm in the yellow. This is Conklin Farms up here, and this is Clarkstown South down here. It makes absolutely no sense. One of the principles of redistricting is you're supposed to keep communities together. Does this look like communities are kept together? Annie lives right here in Nanuet, yet they dragged her into Ramapo. Lon Hofstein, Clarkstown resident, dragged him over here. Patrick Farms is going in there with 474 units, really. Pat Maroney, sitting down here in Orangetown, dragged him into Chestnut Ridge, which is being changed. All of these moves are made. You have Alden Wolf, lives in Suffern, but they bring him down in here into very dense areas where it can't be touched. Harry Cornell lives right along down by St. Francis, but is anchored into downtown Nyack, where it's heavily Democratic. So what really gerrymandering is, and I'm not saying this is a Democrat thing, I'm saying whoever's in charge does this, okay? It is not in your best interest, because there's no reason why 11 out of 17 districts should be touching Ramapo. The reason why it is because they could. Yes, they had a consultant come in to check the boxes like this was done in a bipartisan manner. It wasn't done in a bipartisan manner. It was done deals were made, and this is what we ended up with. We ended up with Ramapo having exaggerated power, 11 out of 17. Now this was done when it was still, the Supreme Court hadn't ruled on this yet. So this is their best behavior, okay? We know how much Ramapo's growing. If it's 11 today, what do you think it's gonna be next year in 2021 after the census is completed and they carve it up again, all right? Nanuet felt the brunt of this. Nanuet got chopped up because in order to drag people around and anchor them into areas where they're unassailable, you had to carve up some of the other places. It doesn't make any sense how this is done. I mean, this is Nancy Lowe Hogan. She's got the river towns, but they gave her a piece of West Nile. Makes no sense. Again, you have districts here in Clarkstown where what it means in very clear terms next time. Either Lon Hofstein or myself, our district is gonna go away. John McGowan is running down in this district. That district is probably gonna be unsustainable. Between the combination of growth in Ramapo and the capabilities that they will have in gerrymandering, we are going to lose collectively representation. Is it illegal? No, but it is definitely not in your best interest. It was very heartening to see all the people that showed up Tuesday night. I wish the place was bigger. People are upset. This is part of the plan. It's not just over development. And I know you're gonna hear, well, the county has nothing to do with, home rule and local. Yes, we do. Ed Day stepped in and put code enforcement to do Ramapo's job that they weren't doing. Those are the kind of things, because the state's not gonna get involved, because Ramapo, nobody's gonna touch Ramapo, all right? Everybody who was there last Tuesday understands this problem, and it's not religion. It's called overdevelopment. When you have a project sitting right over here at Pascack Ridge, 294 units, 133 of them with 6 bedrooms. You're gonna tell me that's density that's sustainable? All right, it's not transit-oriented development, which is by a train station. It makes sense. It actually is a planning tool. What it really is called is spot zoning. Okay, so what did Ramapo do? They've been pushing this project for 5 years. I've been fighting this. I've been up there about 6 times. What they basically do, and they got beat up because they said it's spot zoning, meaning your comprehensive plan for the town does not cover, does not call for that kind of density at that location. What did they do? They changed the comprehensive plan. The same way they ignored the county planning department who said the project is no good. Because they don't care. They have one focus, and it's got nothing to do with the other 4 towns. It has to do with their own agenda. We moved up here for suburbia. They're building a city right next to us. All right? That is what is at stake. So when people start talking about redistricting, oh, it doesn't matter. This is nonsense. It matters. It matters a lot. If you want to stay here in Rockland County, you better think long and hard about who you're going to support come next year. I'm not advocating one way or another. I'm saying get involved, be informed. Okay? This is what happened in 2011. I ran into, and Andy and I got elected at the same time. We did not run into the old district, we ran into this. Here we are now, 8 years later. This is now gonna change, and it's not gonna change for the better of Nanuet. That's my view of this.
I'm gonna bring up one thing. Both Bill Ryan and